Andrea, for coming to Discover Your Best Self podcast. This is super exciting. I'm glad that you came back.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yes, so if you guys don't know, Andrea was one of my first speakers at my event in 2018, March. And, she talked about her background a little bit in marketing and how she got started, was in corporate America. But today we're going to dig just a little bit deeper into your journey and some of the things that we didn't get to talk about when you were at the summit.
Sounds great, yeah.
Good. So my first question is, why did you decide to say yes and come to be on the podcast?
I think it's important to engage with like-minded individuals, and obviously you're also an entrepreneur, a women-owned business, and I just think we share a lot of the same aspirations, and so any opportunity I have to be around other people that, again, are like-minded, I jump at that opportunity.
Absolutely, yeah, great, thank you. Since Discover Your Best Self, how have you been doing more speaking?
I have.
I've been seeing. I'm like, okay, well, yeah. So how does that feel? Is that something that you're wanting to get more into, or what's been your experiences?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so much. I feel like on a one-on-one basis, I have a lot of women that approach me and ask me, how did I get started? And I don't feel like I'm reaching enough people, because I feel really good when I help these folks get started, whether it's just letting them know how to, create their tax ID and really basic business building to the day-to-day, or to just like the jumping point. How do I know when I can leave my corporate job?
So those are like the most common questions.
Yeah, I mean, really the whole gamut.
Okay.
But what I see people getting stuck with the most is leaving that corporate job, leaving the security of a 401k, health insurance, a paycheck every 2 weeks. That fear seems to be what stops, I don't want to throw out a number, but probably 90% of the people that I speak with.
Right.
And I get that, but it's disappointing. It's like, oh man, fear can't be what stops you for.
So for you, what made you be able to jump? So how did you get over that?
Yeah, I think it was a few little things that led up to that moment. I did an online business school with Marie Forleo. She focuses predominantly on women, women entrepreneurs, or people doing side hustles, just anything like that. So that was really my first time being around like-minded individuals, bringing us back to that point again. And I think seeing other women doing what I wanted to do made me realize it was attainable. Right. And that was a huge step for me, knowing that, hey, if they can do it, why can't I do it? Why is what they're doing so much different than what I want to do?
Absolutely.
So I think that was a huge help for me to be able to jump. And like I talked about at your seminar earlier this year, I took on a gap job, which is basically a job that you can work part-time or full-time, whatever you need to do to bring in some income while you're transitioning from your full-time corporate job to, actually making money with your business.
Absolutely.
And so I think doing that was part of the way that I felt comfortable enough or less scared to go ahead and jump, because I'm like, at least I'm going to make enough money to pay my bills or most of my bills and not totally pull out of savings. And I think that's the point where people get stuck. How am I, it's hard to save enough money for 6 months or a year. We've got mortgages, kids, student loans, all these things, and on top of food, basic necessities.
Gas.
So, So for me, having that gap job helped me make that jump, and then also, again, being around like-minded individuals, seeing other women like me doing what I wanted to do.
So did you have to get like a mentor, or or was it more of just kind of like, I'm around these people, and you start to share that energy, right?
I think more of the latter, being around other people like me. I was really fortunate in one of my corporate jobs that I worked for the Houston Astros, and the owner, Jim Crane, was kind enough to I don't want to say take me under his wing, but sort of.
Yeah.
And when I left that job, he's like, well, you must be starting your own business, without me ever saying anything to him. And I wasn't starting my own business then, but having somebody in his position give me that boost of confidence, I'll always remember that. That was 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I still remember thinking, okay, if this man, who's a great businessman, just without a doubt thinks that is in me, that really made me feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. It resonates, and you're thinking like, okay, they must see something in me.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Yeah. But sometimes we shouldn't be shocked.
Right? Yeah, he was right.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I was always that great person anyway.
I could do it. Somewhere deep down inside. I'm nowhere near where he is, but...
Hey, but you never know. But, so, like, when you're saying like-minded people, how does it feel when you're in a room sometimes with people who don't understand or don't get it? Is it frustrating? Or I know sometimes I feel like, when you're around other people and they just... you're trying to explain what you're doing in, this business, especially when you're first getting started. What does that feel like when you're around people who don't get it?
You just have to keep your head held high. When I left my last corporate job, and I was speaking about the Gap job, so I was actually at Whole Foods, like handing out samples, and it was $20 an hour, which was pretty good money, I thought, for a Gap job, and it was very flexible, so I could schedule my own hours. Well, I ended up doing a sampling in a Whole Foods near where my previous office was, and some of the previous people that I'd worked with, employees, saw me there, and all kind of gossiped about the fact that I was there and made fun of me, basically. And I really took that to heart, and it hurt my feelings. And then, I brushed myself off, held my head up, and I said, you know what, they don't see what I see, but they're going to get up every day and go to a place they don't want to be at, because most of them didn't.
Exactly.
9 to 5, Monday through Friday, zero flexibility, and I'm going to vacation when I want to. I'm going to work from Florida when I want to, which is where my family is. And so, you know what, you can judge me, and you can, laugh behind my back, but I'm going to be the one doing what I want to do, not getting up every day feeling like no inspiration and less happiness.
Absolutely.
So yes, anyone out there who's thinking about starting their own business, you are going to face adversity. You are going to have people that don't understand why you're doing it. They're going to judge you sometimes, and you just have to be, know within yourself why you're doing it. That'll give you the confidence to keep moving forward, and then again, be with other people that get it, that can relate and
absolutely. One of the
you.
Things that Alexis was saying, she's one of the Smoothie King owners, and she was saying that positive affirmations every day. What you're putting into your spirit, because as soon as you hit the door, you have all these things coming at you, and so I think that's good because. Like you said, you have to remember why you're doing this every day. Yeah,
that's great advice. That first year, I tell everyone, it's like a roller coaster. You're going to have the highest highs and the lowest lows. I mean, it's so crazy. You're just like, why did I leave the comfort of my steady paycheck and my health insurance? And then the next month, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm the luckiest person in the world. It is everywhere. So ride the wave.
Do you feel that being like a female entrepreneur is harder, or do we have to work differently than men, or what are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, part of me wanting to be an entrepreneur, own my own business as a woman is because I think owning my own business gives me equal footing. I don't necessarily have equal footing in corporate America.
Right.
I just don't. Facts are facts as far as the pay scale, opportunity to move up in the organization into higher roles, senior roles, executive roles. And so now I get to decide that. I decide how much money I make. I decide what my title is. I decide who I work with. And so I feel very empowered as a woman owning my business rather than working for somebody else, a man or a woman, determining my destiny.
You know what? I like that because that's a different view, you know what I mean? And like you said, the equal footing, that's a different perspective because people are like, oh, well, I'm this person, I can't do it, and I'm this and I can't do it. It's like, no, like you're doing this because you may not have been able to do it in another setting or someone wanted to hold you back, but in this arena, you hold your own self back or whatever it is, you can find your niche or whatever it is that you need to do.
I believe we can all do whatever we want to do. We can all sit here and be victims and come up with excuses and the world's against me, or we can choose to say, hey, people in way worse situations than me made it way higher than me. I just watched an episode on 60 Minutes last night. This guy, growing up in trailer parks, ended up in juvie, a horrible beginning. Now he's an opera singer at the Met, living this fabulous life. And it's just like, It's amazing. There are so many stories out there like that. So
Absolutely.
we just have to feel empowered. Choose to be empowered.
Yeah.
Choose to go out there and accomplish your dreams and not play the victim. And you can do it. I truly believe that. If I can do it, if you can do it, I know anybody can do it in whatever their particular niche is.
Yeah, I think that's great. So how have you dealt with some setbacks in your business, right? Because you mentioned that, we go through these highs and lows, and you have, you feel really great, when you're high, right? You're like, oh man, this is great. But your setbacks, what does that do for you? And does it propel you forward for the next thing? Or, explain to me how that works.
I'd like to say it propels me forward. Honestly, it's hard. I mean, you're not going to have, in my business, I have a marketing company, I'm not going to have the same clients forever.
Right.
They're going to, some are just going to find somebody they want to work with more. Some have been fortunate enough that they've actually grown so big that they can hire someone full time. And I'll say no, because I don't want to work for anyone full time. But so there's a transition. I'm not going to always have the same clients. And so I've really had to learn not to take it personally when there is a change.
Okay.
If somebody falls off, somebody else comes on. And I think the longer I've been in business, it's been 3.5 years now, the longer that or the more that I have the ability to find the right partners for me.
Okay.
I think of my clients as partners, and so I only have so much bandwidth, and so I do try to be positive about it. The worst part of my business now is losing a client for sure.
Okay.
So I do have to think, okay, if I'm losing this client, it's for a reason, and something, a better client will come along. But it hurts my feelings, and I'm sad for a portion of time. I'm human. I'll be honest. I want to say it's all business, and it is. But of course, it doesn't feel good to move in different directions.
Absolutely. And Houston is so big, right? I mean, there's 7 million people here.
Yeah, just a few.
Just a few people. But I think that some people have this feeling of scarcity.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I don't get that. If she gets all the clients, there's not going to be anything for me. There's a lot of marketing people out here,
Tons.
and how do you, get to the clients that you need, or do you feel like, I don't feel like there's scarcity, right?
No scarcity.
So how do you explain that to someone who's like, well, there's already so many people out here doing what I do,
right?
Well,
I think there are a lot of marketing companies, but we're all a little different, and ultimately, my clients are hiring me. Yeah, they're hiring me to work with them. So I'm what's different than the other 5,000 marketing companies in Houston. Right. And so I just have to be confident that me as an individual is going to deliver something different to them than Marketing Co. XYZ down the street. Yeah. And I work, and we work out of the Galleria, which has 3 floors of offices, and so there are a lot of marketing companies in there. And I could see where you might internalize, oh, their office is bigger than mine, or they have more assistants than I do. Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, that's just not something that I have felt at all. I agree with you. Yeah. Scarcity is not something that any of us need to have concern about.
Yeah, I'm like, there's so much business to be had, and not even just in Houston, period, right? Because you can grow to other places, and eventually, I would love to be in different parts of the country and different parts of the world doing things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that that's something that we should all think about, because people get really bogged down with there's so many other. But whatever you're good at, you just have to tap into those talents.
Yeah, and you can help each other. I mean, even if there's another marketing agency, I mean, I have shared my office space previously with another marketing agency. And we even competed on a bid for a client. And he won it. That's fine. And I enjoyed working with him because we could talk marketing to each other. We could talk strategy, we could talk trends and changes. And so I say totally flip it around. It's not scarcity at all. Yeah. It is it's a community. And if we stick together and we think that there's enough for all of us, there's going to be.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So question, how do you make money in your business, right? People are entrepreneurs and these big, great, fabulous business owners, but are they making money?
Yeah, right? Or it's a hobby.
Yeah, or is it a hobby?
I had one of those. So when I first left corporate America, I thought I wanted to be a health coach. Okay. And I was just all into, and I still am, very into exercising and healthy living, and it is one of my passions for sure. And I tried over and over again to be a health coach. And I wrote blogs. I was in a magazine once a month. I even got on the cover of a fitness magazine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was on KHOU. I did all the marketing side of a health coaching business. I can tell you that I never had one paying health coaching client.
Oh, okay.
And so I had to accept at some point, this really isn't the right business fit for me. And so I obviously went more into the marketing direction, realizing that, that's really my expertise and I enjoy it. I kind of forgot that I enjoyed it after doing it in the corporate world for so long, where it was kind of a little soul sucking toward the end.
Yeah.
Now it's really fun because I'm doing marketing for small businesses, and so my inspiration's back and my excitement's back. And so I basically, in order for me to make money, I had to pivot. I had to realize, hey, health coaching is not paying your bills. Okay. So unless you want to keep handing out granola bars at Whole Foods for the rest of your life, you better find something that makes money. And so I did. It happened very organically. I didn't seek out having marketing clients. I had a couple people approach me and ask me to do it. And after the second person did, I realized, hey, I'm making money doing this. I'm still not making money doing that. Let me move in that direction.
Right.
And I think being fluid and being able to pivot is something that we should all keep in mind as small business owners. That's what really is an advantage that we have over these giant conglomerate companies, is that we can pivot and move quickly. So if something's not working, it doesn't take getting a board to approve it. We can make that change the same day.
Right.
And so use that as an advantage, because it really, really is.
Yeah. I feel like that as far as this whole podcast thing too, right? Because I'm doing the summit, and then I was like, man, I went to school for broadcast journalism, and I'm like, I really want to dig deeper into the women that I'm meeting, and bring them here so they can have more of a platform. And
I can't wait to listen to all these podcasts, because I feel the same way. I'm like, I like knowing people's stories.
I want to know what's going on, and to be able to just add or pivot or say and be fluid, like you said. That I like that example. Yes. So. Business owner, go ahead and be fluid and do transitional things that'll help you make some more money.
Don't think because you opened your door with one company and one brand and one logo that you're stuck to that forever. And if that doesn't work, you have to go back to the corporate world. No. Don't think like that.
And I think about other, big businesses, or even like Destiny's Child, right? They were what were they called? Girls Town or something first. And so then you change your name, you add people, take them away, whatever, and what your business name was, or, what people knew, you could change that,
Right.
There's so many different businesses that have changed their names and done different things. And
I'm a huge Dunkin' Donuts girl. I love Dunkin' Donuts. They're rebranding to just be called Dunkin' now. That's a huge brand.
Absolutely.
But I agree, because that's what everyone calls it. So, I agree with you.
I think it's great. So, how do you plan for your future as far as like your business? How does that work? Because you want to make more money, or you want to get more clients, but how realistic do you have to be, in setting your goals?
The first 2 years I was in business, I was just like in survival mode.
Okay.
I was just trying to make enough to survive and not lose any clients. By the third year, which would be last year, I'm in my fourth year now. My third year, I started finally saving again, putting money into my 401k, which is very important, obviously. And then also starting to be more strategic and thoughtful when I took on new clients. So, I was able to raise prices and be more in line with where I really should be to equal the salary that I wanted to be at. So you really have to sit there and think about, okay, how much, is it, what's a number that I'm comfortable with?
Right.
Or that is a goal number, either way. And what do you want to get out of life? My big part of having my own business is having a work-life balance. I'm not going to work 80 hours a week. To me, that's not amazing. My husband, he likes to work 80 hours a week. That is the best thing that you could give him. A 12-hour workday, he's happy. Freaking loves it. I don't. I want to go play tennis, and I want to go to the beach, and I want to do all these other things. So you just have to figure out what feels right to you. And this brings me to a really good point, which is a little off topic, but don't feel guilty if you're not working the same hours as everyone else.
Like you said, you don't want to.
I don't want to.
Like, you don't have,
and that's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. Like, if you don't want to and you're good with whatever it is that you have going on, or if you feel like you have to do all these things, then great. You know,
right.
It's how you see fit and what works for you.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, working crazy hours. I call it a work-life integration.
Yeah.
For me, just because I have to,
it definitely integrates.
Yeah, and I bring my daughter and I do all these other
Yes.
things, and it's like, okay, well, today this is what we gotta do. It's gonna be integrated, and you know,
Yes.
but I don't know if there is a true balance. I don't know how that works.
I don't know what it is either. And I mean, yeah, I think I fight with it for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, everybody, you know, but you're like, hey, I want to go chill today.
Yeah, and not feel guilty about it. You have to really, and I still struggle with this. You know, I feel guilty if I play tennis in the afternoon, but I have to remind myself, you know, I'll work on a Saturday. As long as I'm meeting my clients' needs, it really should be okay to take a little time. Yeah. So
that's what you got in it for, is to have that flexibility.
Right. And I have to remind myself that constantly. So y'all should do the same, is, you know, enjoy your life. That is why we're doing, or that is for me. Some people want to go out there and they want to crush it and make, you know, $1 million a year. That's, for me, that's not important. For me, enjoying my life and spending time with my loved ones is more valuable than $1 million a year. Nothing wrong with people that have that aspiration. Good for you. Like, we're all built differently.
Right. So, you know, you talked about family, and that leads me to my next point. Do you have a family?
I do have a family. I do not have any children, if that's what you're asking. But I got married earlier this year in June. Thank you. So I guess I'm still technically a newlywed. So we're making a little lives for ourselves here in Houston. And
so have you thought about, like, you know, if you want to have kids, and how would that work with, you know, is your husband an entrepreneur as well?
He's not.
Okay.
He has a boss and he loves it.
Okay, got it. So how would that work, you know, if you wanted to do that, or if you don't want to do it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've definitely thought about it. I'd have to change things the way that I do them now, because I have a personal touch with all my clients. Yeah. So that would definitely change, I think, if I had kids. Yeah. So, I think when that road comes, or whatever that saying is, then I'll figure it out, but I'm not there quite yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I know I have a lot of friends and people who, you know, they don't have kids, or some of them do, and, you know, some don't feel guilty at all, or they don't feel like they have to do that, you know, to fulfill this thing of life, that I'm a woman and I have to do these things, right? So, you know, for you, how do you feel about that? I know you don't now, but, you know, if you choose not to.
I'd love to have kids. I'd love to have kids, but, you know, I mean, that's up to God, and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
So, but I don't think that you know, should stop living because you haven't accomplished the next thing that you want to accomplish, whether that's getting married or having kids or owning a business. You know, you just have to appreciate where you are, I think, in that moment.
And I like that, because I think a lot of people have this checklist.
Right, I agree.
Right?
Society sets that up for us.
And you don't have that. To me, you just kind of like, look, this is what I'm going to do next, and that's just what it is. And so, you know, for people out there, you know, maybe tell them, what is it that you don't have to go down this list, like, I have this now and then this and this, because who's measuring?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think starting your own business, if you're already going against what society tells you you're supposed to do. You know, you're supposed to go to college, and then you're supposed to get a job, and then you're supposed to get married, and then you're supposed to have kids, and, you know, I got married at 33, so I did that a little later in life than the average. I think the average is, like, I don't know,
but I feel like now it's people are doing things older because life is
we're
different.
Older, we think that, but no, it's still like in the 20s, like 25 to 27, which seems so young. But, you know, but we all have to do what feels right for us at our own pace.
Absolutely.
And I think that, you know, I think social media can be difficult in that regard. You know, we didn't grow up with social media. Facebook came out, I think, my senior year in college.
Yes.
And so we're, you know, sometimes it can be difficult navigating, you know, your feelings when you're seeing, like, okay, all my friends are getting married. Okay, all my friends are having kids. Yeah. And it's like, okay, but that's their journey. Right. And I'm sure they think the same thing if it's like, oh, Andrea's taking another vacation, or she's taking another business trip, or she's at another professional sporting event. How cool. You know, so it's
like the grass is greener on which side. We don't know. It doesn't matter. Like, it's your journey. Right. And however you see fit, you know, you just tackle it in that way. Right. And so, so for those of you guys who think you have to have this checklist, you don't. No. You have your own list of what you want to do, and what really fulfills you, right? Because
Yeah.
for some people, all of that doesn't fulfill them. They just feel like that's what it's supposed to look like.
Right. Yeah, and then what do you do after you have the kids?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, well, I honestly don't know what the next step is. Retirement?
Now, right,
Yeah.
like, now I have these kids, now what do I do, you know? No.
Did you buy a house yet?
Yeah,
Lord
like,
knows that's on the checklist.
yeah, like, maybe I don't want to do that, you know? So,
Yeah.
no, that's a really good point. Yeah, no, but this has been really awesome.
I
Great.
know, I've had so
Yes,
much fun.
I'm glad that you came back, and you know, I can't wait to tap into some other things. You know, where we'll be able to meet and do some more collaborations.
Yes, and I'll definitely be at your seminar in March.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Yes, that's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I'm super excited about that, and you know, bringing some new stories and always adding on.
Yes.
You know, and to keep the same kind of intimacy as far as like feeling.
Yes.
Because I want people to feel welcome. That's my main thing is, you know, feeling welcome, feeling like they belong, and knowing that whatever it is that we share and we do, it's okay in that space.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much, and you know, I'll be seeing you in March.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.